Greetings, salutations, salute, gross, saludos, howdy. This one's a decidedly foreign affair. Had to be after the other week when I had two very similar conversations with special operatives of the Westminster Defence League. The worst kind as well, the ones that don't even know it. One postured that the separatists will say any old nonsense to get a yes vote. Can I start by saying there's two A's in separatist? But I hit back with their argument that we will all become foreigners if we vote yes. That is true, they said. We will all be foreigners to each other if Salmon gets his way and breaks up the UK. I didn't say it wasn't technically true. I said it was nonsense. Pardonnez-moi français, mais c'est que beaucoup de merde. See, when you think about it, their own argument throws up several problems for them. And the biggest one is, they'd have to openly admit that right now, Scotland is not a real country. And therefore, by extension, England would also no longer be a country of its own. Because they claim that the UK is the only country that exists. In order for us to become foreigners after independence, then we must not be living in different countries now. This also means that their argument is based on geography, and that after independence a line will be drawn on a political map making north and south of this island officially foreign countries. Also, if you ask people in the streets of England and Scotland which country they're from, you'll get more England and Scotland answers than you will people saying the UK. You'll also get a huge number that will state a country of origin way outside the UK, but we'll come back to that one. So we identify ourselves mostly as Scottish. Of course, technically our nationality is British, that's what it says on our passports. But then the no camp starts an argument saying that you're not a real Scot if you think Holyrood would do a better job than Westminster when it comes to running Scotland's affairs. Remember when an audience member on Question Time suggested that England should send all their nuclear waste to Scotland and then grant us our independence? Que coisa arrogante, decidiza! That was the first time Yes campaigners were told we weren't really Scottish. A Unitroll Twitter account, who thankfully appears to have been shut down, tried to defend it by saying he was attacking the separatists trying to break the Union, not loyal Scots. Mina Shatsy here promotes this when he tries to pretend that the Better Together campaign will be led by real Scots. So I'm not a real Scot because I want the people of Scotland to have the right to decide if they want to park the most destructive force this planet has upwind of our largest city. And I'm disloyal if I believe Scotland should have the right to veto paying for the privilege of having unsafe, toxic weapons of mass destruction kept in an area of natural beauty on the shores of the Clyde. Okay, so they're vague on whether Scotland is an actual country, but we can definitely call ourselves Scottish. They confirm that Scots still exist and we're not all just Brits together. Alistair Darling said this himself in Edinburgh. I don't want to choose between being Scottish and British, I'm both. But hang on, their argument that we'll all suddenly be foreigners to each other is based on the rules of geography. And since he was born in London, Alistair should be English and British. Of course, he was raised in Scotland, he was educated here, allegedly, and depending on what house he's currently claiming expenses for, he lives here too. So he might have a bit of a brass neck for it, but he's free to call himself whatever he wants. But what this means is that Darling has chosen his identity as Scottish. And since Scotland will still be part of the island of Great Britain for millennia after independence, he can choose to continue calling himself British if he bloody well likes as well. You can even confirm this in a technical sense by applying for dual citizenship. At is so macluch, domo. Their arguments in tatters as far as I'm concerned. But there were two other things that came out of these debates with unionists. One bit comes back to what I said about a lot of people who live here not being from here. An American lass who lives here in Scotland with her Scottish husband and her Scottish son and is a campaigner for independence was told she should keep her nose out of UK politics. Incredibly, they were saying that they believe that if you're not from here originally, you shouldn't be entitled to vote. Que fascista que sei! I personally think it's not only the right of any person who lives here to vote. I believe if you live here, you have a democratic duty to actively participate in controlling how the country is governed. With practically no control over Westminster, individuals and the corporations with the most money have that control, and their concerns are addressed first. People's concerns aren't even a distant second. The other nonsense argument they put forward was that in voting no, they were ensuring that they shared a common identity with everyone living on these isles. Well, I can already identify with the majority of people living across these isles. Not that we were all born in a specific place, but that we all get shafted by Westminster together. Scottish people, English people, Welsh people, Irish people, all of them people. How about we identify with that? And it leaves us with one last question. Who is more concerned with foreigners? As far as I can see, yes voters have no problem with being foreign. But the advocates of a no vote seem positively terrified by it. And they want you to be terrified as well. But if a person has a problem with foreigners, then they are the ones with the problem, and they alone should deal with it. But it will not be created by independence. So, whatever your native tongue might be, the word could be oui, ja, si, dat. Or as we say here in Scotland, aye, go on, spread the word.
McVie would like to thank his friends for teaching him how to speak their languages and apologises for his terrible pronunciation. Vote responsibly.